Danielle Silverton will shock Todd Grimshaw in upcoming scenes on Coronation Street, with the character disclosing some revelations about the villainous Theo following the events of the murder week. Over the past few months, the ITV soap has explored an issue-driven storyline with Todd, who was in an abusive relationship with Theo. After months of manipulation and coercion, Theo assaulted Todd, who reported his former partner to the police. Danielle, Theo's estranged ex-wife, had largely stayed out of the matter until Sarah Platt contacted her. Sarah asked if Theo had ever been violent during their marriage, but Danielle took offense and told all parties to leave her alone. Her stance will change in scenes set to air on Friday, May 8, however, as she surprisingly approaches Todd. Despite previously keeping quiet, she shares knowledge of just how abusive Theo can be. Feeling as if he has somebody who truly understands his previous plight, Todd bonds with Danielle over their mutual suffering. With the pair being victims of abuse, will they work together to share their stories and raise awareness? Todd is shocked when Danielle seeks him out, explains our Corey source. Sarah previously asked Danielle whether Theo had ever been abusive towards her, and she appeared to dismiss the suggestion. With that in mind, it'll be interesting to see what she says now and whether this visit could shed new light on the situation, they tease, adding that the alliance could prove vital in Weatherfield. The developments come after the soap aired a special batch of episodes that have been dubbed Murder Week, with Betsy Swain discovering a currently unidentified body following Carla and Lisa's wedding. Carl Webster, Maggie Driscoll, Jody Ramsey, Megan Walsh and Theo are the 5 individuals who are in potential danger, with the identity of the deceased set to be revealed during Friday's, May 1st, episode. Of course, with Theo being one of the potential murder victims, the surprising developments between Todd and Danielle could be in the wake of his death. Alternatively, the villain could still be posing a threat. If Theo is still alive, could this help Todd by backing up his story? Or is it already too late to bring Theo to justice via legal means, teases our Weatherfield insider in regards to Todd and Danielle's conversation. Coronation Street was never short of secrets, betrayals, and emotional explosions, but nothing quite prepared Weatherfield for the storm that arrived the moment Danielle decided she could no longer stay silent about Theo. Todd Grimshaw had always prided himself on reading people well. After everything he had been through in Weatherfield, he thought he could sense danger before it struck. But this time, he was wrong. Very wrong. Because Danielle was about to turn his world upside down. A calm that never lasts long in Weatherfield. It started on an otherwise ordinary afternoon behind the cafe, where Todd had been trying to convince himself that life was finally settling. The streets were quieter than usual, the kind of deceptive calm that Weatherfield sometimes offered before everything imploded again. Then Danielle arrived. She wasn't supposed to be part of his life anymore. In fact, Todd had assumed she had drifted away into some distant chapter of his past, someone tied loosely to Theo, and therefore best avoided. But her expression told him this wasn't a casual visit. Something had happened. "Have you got a minute?" she asked, her voice tight, controlled, almost rehearsed. Todd immediately sensed the tension. "If this is about Theo, I don't really." "It is," Danielle cut in sharply. "And you do need to hear it." That was the moment everything shifted. Theo's name carries weight. Theo had always been a complicated figure in Weatherfield. To some, he was misunderstood. To others, dangerous. To Todd, he was someone wrapped in contradictions, charming one minute, unsettling the next. And lately, Theo had been orbiting Todd's life in ways that felt increasingly intentional. Danielle stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You don't know who he really is," she said. Todd let out a short laugh, though there was no humor in it. "I know enough." "No," she replied firmly. "You know what he lets you see." That sentence landed heavier than Todd expected. Danielle glanced around before continuing, as if even the cobbled street itself might be listening. "There are things he's done, Todd. Things you'd never imagine from him. And I can't keep pretending I don't know about them anymore. The first revelation. Todd crossed his arms. Go on then. Surprise me. Danielle hesitated, but only for a second. Theo didn't leave his last job because of restructuring, she said. He was pushed out. There were complaints. Serious ones. Todd frowned. Complaints about what? Control, she said quietly. Manipulation. Emotional pressure. People felt trapped around him. A silence followed. The kind of silence that doesn't feel empty, but full of implications, half-truths, and memories that suddenly reframe everything. Todd shook his head. That doesn't prove anything. Danielle's eyes hardened. There's more. The second revelation cuts deeper. She reached into her bag and pulled out her phone. I shouldn't even have this, she admitted. But I kept it because I knew one day someone would need to see it. She showed him a series of messages. Not all visible at once, fragmented conversations, warnings, and emotional pleas from unknown contacts Theo had once interacted with. Todd read them slowly. The tone was consistent. Fear. Confusion. Dependence. One message stood out more than the rest. You always make me feel like I can't leave. I don't know why I let you do this to me. Todd felt a knot tighten in his stomach. That could be taken out of context, he said, though his voice lacked conviction. Danielle didn't argue. She didn't need to. She delivered the third revelation, the one that truly shattered the illusion. The third revelation, Danielle's truth. I was one of them, she said softly. Todd looked up sharply. I wasn't just observing all this, she continued. I lived it. For a moment, the noise of Weatherfield seemed to fade completely. Danielle's composure cracked slightly as she spoke. Theo knows how to get into your head. He doesn't rush it. He builds it slowly. Small compliments, little dependencies, making you feel like you owe him your attention, your time, your trust. Todd's expression shifted. Confusion gave way to something more uneasy. You're saying he did that to you? Danielle nodded. And I didn't even realize it at first. That's the worst part. Todd's defenses began to crack. Todd took a step back, trying to process everything. Theo had been in his life in a way that never felt outright threatening, but now, those interactions replayed in his mind with a different tone. The subtle comments. The way Theo always seemed to appear at the right moment. The emotional weight he placed on conversations that should have been simple. Still, Todd resisted. Why are you telling me this now? He asked. Danielle's answer was immediate. Because you're next. The words hung in the air like a warning bell that refused to stop ringing. The hidden pattern. Danielle explained further. Theo didn't choose people randomly. He observed. He tested boundaries. He created emotional reliance before people even realized they were being influenced. And once you're in it, she said, it becomes harder to see clearly. You start defending him. You start doubting yourself instead of him. Todd swallowed hard. That part felt uncomfortably familiar. Danielle stepped closer again, her tone softer now. I'm not here to destroy your opinion of him for no reason, she said. I'm here because I wish someone had done this for me sooner. A moment of internal conflict. Todd looked down at the pavement, trying to steady his thoughts. Everything he thought he knew about Theo was now layered with doubt. But disbelief is stubborn. Especially when it clashes with personal experience. I need more than this, Todd finally said. Danielle nodded as if she expected that. There's one more thing, she said. This time, she didn't show him evidence. She didn't need to. Instead, she spoke quietly. Theo isolates people. Not physically. Emotionally. He makes sure you start trusting him more than your own instincts. She paused. And once that happens, he becomes the loudest voice in your head. The turning point. For the first time, Todd didn't respond immediately. Instead, he replayed everything. Every conversation with Theo. Every moment that felt slightly off, but was brushed aside. Every instance where he felt subtly steered, rather than freely interacting. The pieces started aligning, not perfectly, not conclusively, but enough to form a disturbing pattern. Danielle watched him carefully. "I didn't come here to scare you," she said. "I came here because I couldn't live with knowing I stayed quiet." Weatherfield never stays quiet for long. In typical Coronation Street fashion, silence never lasted long on the cobbles. A passing car, a distant shout, the hum of daily life, all reminders that while personal worlds were collapsing, the street kept moving. But for Todd, everything had slowed. Danielle's revelations didn't just introduce doubt about Theo, they reshaped how he understood trust itself. And somewhere in Weatherfield, unknowingly, Theo continued his life as if nothing had changed. Or perhaps, as if everything was already under control. The final warning. As Danielle prepared to leave, she paused. "I know you won't fully believe me yet," she said. "That's okay. I didn't either when it was happening to me." She met Todd's eyes one last time. "But please, just watch him." Then she walked away. Aftermath, a mind rewriting itself. Todd stood alone for a long time. The street noise returned. Life resumed its rhythm. But inside him, something had already shifted. Doubt doesn't demand proof, it demands attention. And now, Todd couldn't ignore it anymore. Because once someone plants the idea that the person you trust might not be who they seem, there's no easy way to unhear it. And in Weatherfield, where secrets rarely stay buried, Danielle's shock revelations about Theo were only the beginning of something far more dangerous. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crown ST.